if cats could text you back? They'd probably be a lot less needy. Well, they would if they didn't have sums. Okay, so one of my writer's assistants set this up where she has a bunch of cat toys all over the floor and then a little table with a phone on it, and she films them trying to figure out how to use it. This is like a very expensive version of that game where you put a little treat at the end of a ramp and then the cat has to figure out how to get down the ramp to get to the treat. Except instead of a treat, it's a phone. Instead of a ramp, it's a keyboard. And instead of figuring out how to get something, they're trying to figure out how not to get something, specifically me. There's a lot of theories about why cats evolved to be so fluffy. The most popular one being that it is to keep them warm because they couldn't regulate their body temperature very well. But a new study says that it might actually be because they used to be social outcasts and learned to cuddle up to humans for attention and warmth. See, as an outcast, your survival depends on your ability to find a group to snuggle with, which means you need to be pretty flexible in your snuggle choices. So cuteness might have evolved as a way for cats to manipulate you into giving them the one thing they really want, a good petting. But what if we could give them something even better? What if we could make them smarter so they could text us back? Researchers from Oregon State University recently taught a cat how to use a keyboard to communicate. The researchers used a keyboard with only a few keys on it, and every time the cat pressed the right key, it got a little bit of food. Eventually, the cat was able to spell out its name and then some words like pet and outside. It took the cat about 6 months to learn how to use a keyboard, but once it did, it was able to type out a fair amount of memos, including one that said, "I want to play with an actual mouse," which may or may not have been about the researcher's pet mouse, whom I assume is now dead. But this just raises more questions like, can any cat learn how to do this, or only special genius cats like Professor Meowmo McGrew? And if they could text us back, what would they say? We may never know because tragically, the cat that learned how to text has since passed away. It died doing what it loved best, napping. Now, obviously, you're gonna want to know if dogs can text too. The answer is yes, but it's a little more complicated. You see, a company created a device that translates dog barks into text. It's basically like Siri, except for dogs. The dog barks into this little microphone and then it types out what the dog wants. The company says that it can translate 25 different barks, including ones that mean walk, play, and I found a squirrel outside. But it can also detect a bark that means this device doesn't work, which makes me wonder if maybe it just translates English. Also, now that dogs can text, does that mean that eventually they'll be able to tweet? They already have their own Twitter accounts. We can only hope that they don't start tweeting about how much they hate us. Like this golden doodle who tweeted, "My human doesn't spend nearly enough time playing with me. Sad face." Or this lab mix who tweeted, "I hate it when my humans leave me alone. All day I stare out the window waiting for their car to come home. Hashtag lonely dog, hashtag bored, hashtag whining. Wait, those were both from the same account. That's not very nice." Researchers are still working on making sure that these devices are accurate and reliable. You don't want a dog to tweet something that it didn't mean, like a certain Shiba Inu who tweeted, "I love my human so much," when it really meant, "Can I interest you in buying some Dogecoin?" Dogecoin, by the way, is not a real cryptocurrency. It was created as a joke based on the idea that we should have a cryptocurrency that is even less valuable than Bitcoin. Turns out people like the idea of worthless crypto more than they like actual crypto. So now Dogecoin is worth billions. Whoops! All this just goes to show that communication with pets is going to become more important in the future. So if you want to get ahead of the curve, you should probably start learning some pet languages. Luckily for you, I have just the course for that. It's called Pet Translated, which is also what my writer's assistant calls me when she needs help carrying boxes of cat toys. In this course, you'll learn how to understand your dog or cat through their vocalizations, body language, and even poop. You'll get to watch videos like this one where a cat explains the difference between the fine and ultra-fine particle filters on an air purifier. Thanks for watching, guys.